Just gonna hang for a little bit. Let you guys come on in. It's Friday. Made it through another week. 4. It's just 4 weeks for us today. Hey, Leanne. Thanks for commenting. Craig, you made it for the whole show, mate. I'm just starting. It's been wild. The first couple of weeks were such a shift. I feel like I'm almost starting to get used to this whole quarantine thing. It's in a weird way. I still have bouts of craziness now and then, but like just now I walked into the kitchen to get some water for this live, and I came back with a cocktail. But as I said, it's Friday, I guess. So this is going live on American Songwriter, and I'm going to share this on my Facebook page too, but I'm assuming there's a bunch of you that maybe have never heard of me or seen me play before, but my name's Morgan Evans, or Morgan Evans. I grew up on the east coast of Australia. Came from a town called Newcastle, which is a big steel town originally and is now a coal town. Grew up on a lot of old country music and a lot of rock and roll, and started playing music young and playing in bands, and eventually, having grown up on all that country music and rock and roll, and then seeing a Keith Urban concert when I was about 15, I think that was what pointed me on the direction to Nashville, which is where I am right now, where I call home now, and where I've been in this apartment for 4 weeks. But I've sort of gathered all the music gear that I have and made a little makeshift studio here in the spare room, and kind of been bunkered down here. Been writing a lot over Zoom. We've American Songwriter. It's always appropriate cocktail hour. Exactly. I don't know if you guys use Zoom or FaceTime or any of those things, but it's been crazy for the songwriting community here, who are just all like wanting to be creative all the time. I've actually been writing all day with a couple of other fellas in their respective quarantines. But after traveling back and forth from Australia to America a bunch, I eventually had to make the big move and move here permanently. And this song sort of kicked everything off for me. Sometimes you gotta drink about somebody that ain't gonna bring them back. Sometimes you gotta cry and miss somebody. Yeah, we've all felt like that. It's something that you gotta get over, but you just can't get over. Sometimes you gotta kiss somebody in the back of a cab or on a subway train. Sometimes you gotta kiss somebody on a midnight street in the summer rain. If you're wishing you were with somebody you don't wanna go home when it's closing time. If you wanna kiss somebody, baby, I got somebody in mind. You can kiss like your heart ain't never been broke. Kind of lips, hit your lips, get your eyes closed. I know what you're going through, 'cause I wanna kiss somebody too. Wanna kiss somebody like you. Wanna kiss somebody like you. I wanna kiss somebody. So, thanks to country radio and country music fans all over this country for really changing my life with that one. It's the first song I ever put out here in America, and sort of took me all over this country. I think I've done all the states now, probably multiple times, except for Alaska. I need to get up there once all this craziness is over. Walter, you're from Scotland. Thanks for joining us, mate. Went to Scotland on the world tour last year. We played in Glasgow at a place called the Oran Moor, and loved that. It's this cool old basement, little spot under a church. So, because this is American Songwriter, they've sent a bunch of like stuff that I should maybe talk about, which is about the songs, which I love to talk about. That song in particular, I wrote with a guy named Josh Osborne and my producer, Chris DiStefano. And Chris was kind of the first guy here in America to take me under his wing and really kind of, I guess he kind of believed in me here before anyone else did. And getting to work with him and having sort of the introduction to the songwriting community through him was such a great experience. And during those first few months, I got to write with, some of my favorite songwriters of all time for the first time. And one of those was Josh Osborne. And I remember that day he came in with that idea, Kiss Somebody. He came in singing, Kiss Somebody. He was like, I don't know what this is, but it feels good. And we wrote that song like 2.5 hours that day. And Chris, he records everything as you're writing it. And honestly, by the end of that day, what we had as the demo was pretty damn close to what you hear on the radio now. And that kind of set the standard for the rest of the songs on that album, as to sonically where they would fit, and I guess the standard of what I needed to say and how I needed to say it. And during that time, I also lost someone pretty close to me too. I lost a guy named Rob Potts. He was my manager of 10 years. He managed me in Australia for a long time, and he brought me to America for the first time. And he was the one that kept telling me to come back to America as well. And unfortunately, it was just a couple of months after we put out that first single, Kiss Somebody, that we lost him in a motorcycle accident. And on the day of his memorial here in Nashville, I was in the studio again with Josh and Chris, and we decided to write a song for him, to celebrate his life, the life we got to share together, the cool things we got to do because we were in each other's lives. And this was what came out and became the title track for the first album. It's called Things That We Drink To. Gonna raise up a tall glass tonight as we look back on all the life that we lived through. Yeah, the things that we drink to, the roads that we choose, the friends that we make, the turns that we miss, and the hearts that we break. The words that we say, the ones that we don't, the lines that we cross, and the ones that we want. Tears that we cry, dreams that we dream, stars that burn out and the stars that we reach. Pictures we take, stories they tell, moments we keep for ourselves. Gonna raise up a tall glass tonight as we look back on all the life that we lived through. Yeah, the things that we drink to. We can wonder where all the time goes, but it don't change a thing, no. All I'm trying to say is I miss you. Yeah, the things that we drink to. All I'm trying to say is I miss you. Yeah, the things that we drink to. It's a special one. Whew. Anyway, how are you guys doing out there? What's keeping you sane during this quarantine? I've been writing a lot of songs, but aside from that, we set up a bunch of games in the house as well. We have Scrabble set up. And then we have this one called Ticket to Ride, which is like about building railways. And we have Yahtzee, we went old school on that one. And we have Mario Kart too. Yeah, I got that off the tour bus before the lockdown. And so we have that as well. This live looks different to every live that I've done before, so I hope it's going out there to you guys in the right way. But from a songwriting perspective, I find this story pretty funny. It was the first time I got to write with a lady named Lindy Robbins, and she'd come to Nashville. I guess she comes back and forth a lot and had been before this, but the first time I got to write with her was with Chris DiStefano as well. And his studio was out of action at the time, and so we were writing in his apartment in a room kind of like this. And we started writing a song called Day Drunk. And I'd never written really a drinking song before that I felt like I could sing on stage and for the rest of my life. And I don't know why that is, but I've never felt like I wanted to sing a song about just drinking beers. And so when we started sort of messing around with this title and this feel, and came up with the first few lines of the chorus, and knew that it felt good and knew that it was something we needed to work on. But I think when it really clicked was, and I can't remember what the moment was about this, was when we would use the term day drunk as a metaphor for similar to an afternoon delight, if that makes sense. And once we did that, all of a sudden it became a little more tongue-in-cheek, a little more sort of, at the same time as becoming tongue-in-cheek, it became kind of more real, personally. And the drinking aspect of it sort of became a side note in terms of the writing of it. And it's so funny because I've done interviews and played the song all over the world now, and you know, some people like to ask me about the metaphor of day drunk. Some people just like to get day drunk while they listen to it. But I'm going to play a bit of this one now. So if you're watching and you have been listening to the song and you hadn't maybe thought that far through it, maybe you'll hear it a little differently this time. We bought that champagne for New Year's. We got one bottle left. Let's pop it open, baby, what you say? Stay in that t-shirt, you don't need to get dressed, 'cause we got plans to make no plans today. Well, I'm thinking happy hour on the hour, in the kitchen, in the shower, dancing tipsy, singing with me, baby. Let's get a little day drunk, party without shades on, play a bunch of old songs, sing along, get the words wrong. Who cares when you're day drunk? Get down while the sun's up, make a little good look like it's date night in the daylight, and it feels right when you're day drunk, day drunk. Yeah, when you're day drunk, day drunk. So yeah, I love the dimensions of that one, for sure. Check out what else we got here. Oh, here are all the comments. For some reason they weren't coming out. There's some people on here from Newey, my hometown. Is that a margarita, Lee? No, it's not actually. It's, I think you would call this a Paloma if you were in a bar. It's got a little grapefruit juice, a little soda water in it. Thank you guys for joining me. I couldn't see if anyone was on here until just now. Abby Young, how's it going? Yeah, I can play a little bit of that song for you for sure. Thanks, Craig. Appreciate it, mate. If you guys have requests, by all means, chuck them in the comments there, and I'll get to them. I'm going to be on here for another 15 minutes or so. Kelsey's here somewhere too. I'm not exactly sure what she's doing, but I told her I was doing this and to drop in. So before I moved to America, I was touring in Australia for a long time, and I put out I think it was one single, 2 EPs, and a full-length album up there. And there's one song that keeps popping up, especially in the last 4 weeks. And when we did this world tour at the end of last year, and it was the one song from that album that I felt the need to play every night. And I keep hearing people say this line on the news and wherever. I feel like it's an important message, so I want to play a little bit of this one for you acoustically. This is a song I wrote in 2014, and feels more important now than it did then. How I long to find the answers to the questions they can't find. For a world where we can all walk hand in hand, where the soldiers all come home because there ain't a war to fight, and the leaders of this world all understand. Well, I know there's a long way to go, but I know I'm not alone. If we're all in this together, there's got to be a way. We can make it there if we're all in this together. Ain't that the truth? That is the truth. Love that song. Walter, did you ever get that guy another bottle of whiskey? I'm not sure what you're talking about, man, but I don't think I owe whiskey to anyone. What else have we got on here? From London, how's it going? I'm not going to even try to pronounce your name because I'm going to offend you, but thanks for joining us, mate. Leanne from Brisbane, how are you? Got some requests coming in. I love that. Do I have any other songs with meaningful stories behind them? I think they all kind of have at least something. For sure. When did this comment come through? Oh, a little while ago. Well, I guess you've heard a couple of them. Positive lyrics, exactly. Hey, Phil from California. Thanks for joining us, mate. Leanne, Tears of Joy. That's a great request. Tears of Joy is a song that I never recorded. I'm not really sure why. It's funny with timing, you know. I feel like I could write a song right now, and I did. I wrote one today, and I love it. And then if I don't release another album for a year or 6 months between now and then, maybe I'll write more songs. I think timing has a lot to do with it. It's so interesting as a songwriter. I feel like, and you hear people say it all the time, but what's the favorite song you've ever written? And it's like, the one I wrote today. And so when you're making a record, a lot of the time, you're going into record, a lot of the time it's like the most recent stuff you wrote is the more exciting stuff to go in and cut. And so I think that was kind of Tears of Joy. That song was a victim to that. It is actually up on YouTube, I think, maybe on the Opry YouTube channel. I played it at Opry at the Ryman one year for CMA Fest, and I'll never forget that moment. It was my first time getting to stand on the stage at the Ryman, and it was part of the Opry, and that song, I mean, it got a standing ovation, and it was one of those moments I'll always remember. So thank you for requesting that, Leanne. I am not going to try to play it because I'll just completely murder it, but I need to revisit it. Maybe we'll put that on the next one. Hey, Laurie from Chicago. I miss playing Chicago already. Homecoming. Hey, Dixie from Wisconsin. Lee, what did we write today? We wrote a song today again, I'm not going to try to play that. I'll just destroy it. But I wrote it with those three other fellas on there. It was a producer named Lindsay Rhymes, and another guy named Seth Ennis, and another buddy of ours, Phil, was on there as well. But actually, Seth and Lindsay and I also wrote this song. It was Friday night, no cover, but the cover band was sounding right. There you were, just flirty dancing by the neon sign. Fishing in the dark, you were reeling in my heart. Now look where we are. 'Cause I'm hooked on kissing you, getting you turned on, buzzing and loving on you all night long. Like a hit song on the radio, you already know the way it goes. All it took was a look and I was hooked on the way that you're taking my shirt off, running my fingers through your long hair, falling in your eyes at the first time they caught mine. All it took was a look and I was hooked. So you may have heard that one. A guy named Dylan Scott recorded that song, put it out, and got played on the radio a bunch. It's funny. There's one of the questions that I had here to talk about was what advice would you give to songwriters that don't want to record their songs personally but have them cut by others? And I don't know what the advice I would have for that is, because anything that I felt was great, I've wanted to record, and that is the only time that one of my songs has been an Eric Pasley song. I wrote with him too. That was different because I wrote it with Eric, and in the room, Eric said that he wanted to record it. But the Dylan Scott one was weird because we were making my album at the time, and we had a pile of songs that we were planning on recording, and Hooked was in that pile. And I actually didn't know at the time, but Seth had shown that song to Dylan, and Dylan had cut it. And honestly, it was like one day. I think it was 1 day or 2 days in a row that I was like, hey, Dylan has cut your song. He wants to make it the next single. And that was kind of it. We have a visitor right now. My quarantine partner.
Quarantine buddy. How's it going?
Pretty good, I think. I think we just started reading the comments here. I was telling them a story about Hooked just now. How are you going?
Good. I was just sitting outside getting some sun.
Yeah, we're in an apartment, so our outside area is like literally 1 meter of...
It's tiny.
Yeah.
But the sun helps.
It does help.
What are you going to play next?
I don't know. I didn't really have any plans. You want to sing something?
No.
Come on.
You sing something. I'll sing with you.
She just put out an album 2 weeks ago, was it?
Yeah.
2 weeks today.
Yeah.
And there's a song on there called Half of My Hometown. It's my favorite song of all time. I'd say this if she wasn't here, and I always play it around the house, and I thought she'd be flattered, but she gets offended.
No, I don't get offended.
I don't know what that means. You don't want to sing, or you just want to hang?
I'll sing with you.
You want to pull up a stool? There's a stool right there. I get the stool for you.
Wow, thanks. Are you singing Half of My Hometown?
No way.
What are you going to sing?
Couldn't do it justice. I don't really know. See what we got requests here. Yeah, all right. Let's do that. Let's do dancing. Lindsay, thank you for requesting.
Woo, hitting those high notes today. All right.
That is pretty high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that high for you as well?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, let's just try it. Here we go. Just checking to see the notes in there. This feels weird with you sitting behind me.
Why?
I don't like it.
It's okay.
May my hands be the hands you hold on to. You let go of everything else. May my arms be the arms you fall into when the night gets too heavy to hold by yourself. And if you're looking for a safe place to land, I will guide you home. And if the levee of your life breaks all your plans, you'll never be alone. If you dance with me, feel my heart beat through your body to your feet. If you dance with me, hold me in the dark now until both your eyes can see. If it's you and me against the world, if I'm your man, you're my girl. Well, when you'll see, if you dance with me. May my shoulder be the shoulder you rest your head on when you close your eyes to sleep. May my lips be the lips you wake up to, kiss you like the morning sun all over your spine. And no matter where this winding road will lead you, I will keep you strong. Through the minors and the majors, I will sing like a song. I hope you sing along. I hope you dance with me. Feel my heart beat through your body to your feet. I hope you dance with me. Hold me in the dark now until both your eyes can see. If it's you and me against the world, if I'm your man, you're my girl, we'll win. If you dance with me, if my heart is yours and yours is mine, together through the test of time, we'll win, you'll see. If you dance with me, we'll win, you'll see. If you dance with me.
Ooh, I'm a little rusty. I'm a little rusty.
Middle of the day. Took you by surprise. That song's really hard to sing, but she always kills it.
I try. Do what I can. Do what I can.
People
guys.
seem to dig it. Thank you for commenting, guys. Thank you for digging those lyrics too. That is probably my favorite song I've ever written.
Yeah, that's what you say.
It's the first song I wrote. That's what I say, but I actually mean it too.
No, totally.
Yeah. Where's your cocktail?
It's outside.
Smart. Yeah, those are my favorite lyrics I've ever written. I wrote those really quickly one morning. It's just funny that the best songs come quick now that we talked about that the other day.
Were we dating or engaged then?
We were dating.
We were dating. Imagine dating a guy that looks like this, and then he sings you a song that he wrote that sounds like that. You're like, just here it is. Just go ahead.
Well, let's just talk about that part a little more because I don't think that I actually quite look like this. So usually I have a little bit of a beard action going on.
This is actually true.
It's a true story from this morning. It feels super weird because I didn't have coffee before. I was like, thought I should probably like clean up the beard for Facebook Live on American Songwriter. I forgot to put the...
He was getting really scruffy because, quarantine. Why not?
I forgot to put the attachment on the electric razor and just went zzzz, and took this big chunk out of the side of the beard.
He walked into my closet and he just goes,
"Can I get away with
babe,
this?"
I did something horrible. He turned his face and he had this big scruffy beard and then this like chunk missing and he goes, "Can I get away with it?" I go, "Absolutely not." So you're welcome. You get his baby face.
Looking like a stranger.
All right. I'm going to leave you to it.
All right. Thank you.
Of course. Anytime. I'll see you for a game of
Yahtzee?
Mario Kart.
She loves Yahtzee.
I love Yahtzee and Mario Kart. Good to see you guys.
Thank you. All right. They only gave me half an hour on here, and I think we're up on half an hour, but I feel like I've been watching these comments, and I thank you guys so much for joining me today, but especially you guys for commenting. And it's so funny. Every time I ask for requests anyway, this song is the most requested one. And I love looking out into crowds, especially at at festivals where it's not necessarily my show. And at those moments, like, you always know when you walk on stage, you're like, okay, some of these people are here because they dig the music that I make, and some of these people are waiting for whoever's playing after me, or we're here for whoever's played before me. And so this is one of those songs I used to look down in the crowd and see the people singing this song, and I'm like, these are my people right here. That said, it's been a few months since I played it, so let's see if I can get through it. This is called Everything Changes. Cause I could spend my whole life planning out my whole life trying to make it feel right when it don't. No, I picked the wrong ones just to have some. Who likes to be alone? I had a couple heartbreaks, made my share of mistakes. Thought that kind of love wasn't meant for me. Looking at you across that room, feels like this could be. One of those nights starts with a smile. One of those smiles turns to a drink. One of those drinks leads to a song. You and me dancing all night long. One of those dances leads to a kiss. One of those kisses feels like forever. One of those nights you start as strangers. One of those nights everything changes. Everything changes. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I see that, Lee. Thank you for showing up early. Abby, I'm glad you appreciate that. Lindsay, your mother-in-law would love to hear Best of Me. Look, I can't remember that song. We put that out so long ago. That was a song from the Australian record. Sasha, I'm glad you could be here. Again, American Songwriter, thank you for having me behind the mic today. Cheers to everyone that tuned in. Cheers to everyone that tunes in. After this thing will be posted, I'll share it on my page, as I said. And yeah, hopefully I can keep doing this and sort of at least share these musical moments online until we can get back on the road and do it for real. Happy quarantining to everyone.